Hey again, fellas, and welcome back to Quite With a Y. Like, earlier this morning, I was listening to a Drake song. That's probably the hardest thing I've ever had to admit, but it is besides the point. There is just, like, one lyric that I had heard before, but that for some reason this time hearing it just really caught me off guard. In his soothing singing voice, Drake says, "You say I'm persuasive, girl, but you can't spell that shit for real." It's not, like, strange for Drake to insult people in his music. Like, that happens all the time. It just shocked me because of how superficial this dig specifically was. It's so petty, and it's like, damn, this girl is bilingual and still learning English. What a moron. I was kind of taken aback by it until I realized, oh wait, this happens a lot with Drake. There's obviously the Drake being a lesbian line everybody knows, but it goes deeper. She don't even get the joke, but she's still smiling. I love Drake is just casually observing and sharing to us openly that the women he gets with are usually very dumb or nervous in social situations. In total, he probably does mean that he's been with a bunch of women, so many that eventually, statistically speaking, some of them are going to be on the simpler side, but he's always been known as this emotional guy who sings about relationships and his feelings before it was cool to do so. You see all the Drake the type of fella to do X thing memes. Then he'll describe something cartoonish like him floating when he starts smelling the warm scent of a freshly baked pie. And all of that tracks because a few years back he was also admitting to having the same faults these women do. "My Spanish ting convinced that I know Spanish. Really, when she get to talking, I don't understand it." Imagine the crazy things she might be screaming during sex that Drake just does not know about. But you know, he's not hypocritical about the whole bilingual thing. Now, you might be wondering why I actually know so many different Drake lyrics. Please allow me to plead my case, just go through the whole explanation before you get on me too much. I feel like Drake is probably not in the rotation of like the stereotypical Quiet viewer, so I have to like justify my interests. The thing is, Drake can be very cold and like have a frozen tone to him, or at least he knows how to say really petty shit in a funny way, but completely stone-faced. Just shitting on hypothetical, or at the very least nameless people with words, and I wanted to share some of my favorites, more than the ones I've already shown. There's three sides to this story, girl. The one you subtweet, the one your group chat gets to read, and the one you come and tell to me. There are multiple people I follow on Twitter where if they tweeted this out, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. I'd be like, yeah, this sounds like something they would come up with in their brain. Drake sounds like he apparently loves to gossip. This is high-level, experienced analysis of how people behave in these situations, and that knowledge comes from experience, which is nuts. Now, reading these all out of context will make them sound or come off completely different than they would in the actual music. You don't have any of the relevant wordplay, like all the bars that came before and after that kind of like put it into context. You don't get his delivery, you don't get really the rhyme schemes he set up. That being said, the context also has the potential to make some of these worse. And I want to talk about this while still putting ads on this video, because this channel has those now, thanks to y'all. So I'm just going to read them with my eyes and speak them with my lips. We'll be bouncing around his discography, but I tried to keep it mostly to recent-ish stuff. This is a legendary one. "Got so many chains, they call me Channing Tatum." They do, they do. I thought I had to be missing something for like the first few years of hearing this line, but no, it means exactly that. I was scrambling for the life of me to figure out what the wordplay could be here, but it's just Channing Tatum being pronounced wrong. The "they do" ad-libs I'm highly critical of because they almost make Drake sound desperate, like he's trying to convince us. And like, man, I've seen Drake's net worth on Google. He says it's a lot higher than that, but regardless, I know he can afford the chains. Like, that was never in doubt. He doesn't have to prove anything to me. But it kind of ties back into that same type of personality, that the dude who would like make these petty little remarks that make me giggle on songs would also feel this way about having chains, despite being really rich. I can also respect how consistent Drake is with his pettiness. His braggadocio is very, very across the board, like, and it feels authentic to me. I don't think he's like flying about this stuff. Now I got a house in LA. Now I got a bigger pool than Ye. And look, man, Ye's pool is nice. Mine's just bigger. That's what I'm saying. He's not being rude or mean. That's just like factually correct. Do you have like a problem with the truth, man? You just can't deal with the fact Drake has a bigger pool than Kanye? Sorry, buddy. It just comes off like he finds a way to sneak pettiness into every single one of his relationships. I can imagine him one-upping his mom at Thanksgiving. Like, just she makes this really nice homemade meal for everybody coming back to the house. It's not like gourmet $1,000 chef stuff that Drake usually eats, but it's from the heart, you know? And Drake's like, nah, I'm shitting all over this. And like, he literally takes a dump on the turkey and then brings in his one-of-a-kind, brand new recipe, Gordon Ramsay commission made-to-order turkey. Now, one of the first Drake songs I ever heard and like listened to repeatedly was Child's Play off of Views. And I feel like that entire song is Drake's strain of whimsy, specifically just purely distilled into one track. It is everything he is about, and having that as my introduction to him probably set me up with some of the best expectations I could have with his discography moving forward. If you want pettiness, it fits right at home here. This is just the first verse. "Why do you gotta fight with me at Cheesecake? You know I love to go there. You say I'm acting light-skinned, I can't take you nowhere. This is a place for families that drive Camrys and go to Disney. They don't need to know all of our business. You're wild in it, you're super childish, you got a CVX for Codex in my Bugatti. I took the key and tried to hide it so you couldn't drive it and put on mileage. Then you find it. Awkward silence. That's real. I love him. I'll say it is always cool to see someone else admit to liking Cheesecake Factory. Admit it, you love shoving white cream down your gullet like the rest of us. It tastes good. All types of that white cream tastes good. There's just so much imagery in that verse over something so pointless. It's like the adult Drake version of a kid getting caught with scissors in his hands. The whole thing comes off as almost pouty, and I kind of adore that. Here's Drake taking a pro-choice stance, saying that abortion rights are important. Damn. Just turned on the news and seen that men who never got pussy in school are making laws about what women can do. Listen, dude, I didn't get anything either, and you don't see me doing that shit. Don't lump us in together. Right after he did that little activist stance, this is the next line. Fellas put hands on you in the past, insecure because your body is precious. 4 words when I think about them is crusty, musty, dusty, rusty. And get this, 8 words when I think about us is fuck me, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. I burst out laughing the first time I heard this because it sounded like a YouTube poop edit with the repeated cursing. It sounded dubbed over like imperfect, but nah, Drake wrote that and put that to paper, and I fucking respect it so much. You can think it's total dog shit, and you'd probably have a good point, but I just don't care. Drake just goes full Mean Girls on more than one occasion. It's absolutely admirable. For your birthday, your boyfriend got a party bus, bottle signs, club lines, and you should have come with us. We left that shit in '09 when we were coming up. I mean, these are just my suggestions, of course. Basically saying, your boyfriend's party was super lame, and ours was way better, and you completely missed it. I mean, you only really missed it if you wanted to come, though. Alright, I've probably been going on about this one specific topic for longer than God ever would have wanted, so let's wrap this up with Drake being at his most out of pocket. The entire verse I am taking these bars from is something else, but let's just dip our toes in because it's a lot of exposure at once. Alright, here we go. This is in reference to Mrs. Minaj, Nicki Minaj. I never fucked Nicki because she got a man, but when that's over, then I'm first in line, and the other day in her Maybach, I thought, God damn, this is the perfect time. This is one of the few times I'll give you context. Those lines are from a Nicki Minaj song. His entire feature is about how much he wants to have sex with Nicki Minaj, and how he's always thinking about having sex with Nicki Minaj. In very, very vivid detail, like he's still using his pen, which is the worst part, using his talents for evil. I really just don't think I could handle putting that entire thing at the end of this kind of video, so if this video does well, I will dedicate an entire autopsy to Drake's speech on that track. Anyways, that's all I got. If you want to send me any topics for this channel, hit that kwytebox@gmail.com. That's stories, things you got going on in your life, things you want me to, like, answer or give advice on. I don't know why you'd want that. You could probably find someone better for it. But yeah, that's all. Piss off.